Today, we're going to talk about comparison of ourselves to other people, or what I like to call comparanoia, and how this can completely derail us and stop us from the let them theory. I'm Jackie Elmer. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, grab my guide at lowertoxiclife.com, and check out the playlist on the let them theory. Now, this is one of my absolute favorite chapters or concepts to deal with, and that is comparanoia. I've mentioned before, I'm also a social media and business development coach, mostly for solopreneurs. And one of the things that I have run into over the decades that I've been doing this is comparison of ourselves to other people, and especially since social media came along. Now, it's funny, I was sitting around with a group of women the other day talking about the doom scrolling and the comparanoia and the negative feelings that we can get from being out on social media and comparing our A roll to everybody else's B roll, where their life is perfectly manicured and looks like perfection. You have new moms with babies that come out of the hospital and do these photo shoots with, beautiful negligees and stunning nurseries and all of that. And the reality of it is, that's great on social media, but that is not a picture of their life. Anybody who's ever had a baby tells you babies are a lot of work. They're messy, they're smelly, they're inconvenient, they cry a lot, they poop a lot, they throw up, they do all of those things. So we can work to curate that perfect A roll on social media, but the reality of it is everybody deals with the reality of raising children. And so while it may look picture perfect on Instagram for that little moment of scroll, the other 23 hours in the day are filled with the same type of issues that every parent deals with. So it's so important for us, especially in this day of social media, to remind ourselves that it's not real. It's an illusion. Now, I mentioned I was sitting around with a group of women the other day and we were talking about social media, but I was also mentioning the fact that this has gone on for years, and especially for women. If you think back on Cosmopolitan and Glamour magazine, and I don't even remember all of the female magazines. There was Teen, even for us young and upcoming in high school, where we were constantly looking at the pretty girls and the thin girls and the perfect bikini body girls and all of that. And I remember once being at a bookstore and looking through a book, and honestly, I think it might have been written by Joan London. I'm dating myself here. It's Lunden. She was on Good Morning America. I think it was a newscaster. Anyway, I think she wrote the book. And I was in a secondhand store because I love to shop books. If you subscribe to my channel, you know that I love thrifting and consignment stores and estate sales and all of that. And I especially love books. So I was looking through this book and it was showing a photo of Cindy Crawford, the model. It showed the picture of the photo that was produced in the magazine cover and the photo shoot. And then it showed the real photo of her, and it had like her arms and everything where they had, through Photoshop, this was, probably in the 90s. They still had the technology even then to cut the fat off of this arm, sculpt it with a little bit more muscle, pull in cheekbones, all of that. And when you looked at the photo, it didn't look significantly altered, like you still knew it was Cindy Crawford. But when you really compared it, you could easily see where even Cindy Crawford couldn't live up to the image of Cindy Crawford, if that makes any sense. And I remember seeing that and thinking, man, what a disservice the fashion industry, magazine publications, and just the human species has done to other humans. And shame on us for not managing our minds better and realizing, real life is imperfect for anybody. I don't care how much money you have, how attractive you are, or any of that. Life is still imperfect for all of us. We still go through the highs and lows, the happiness, the unhappiness, and all of that. So I think that, part of this book is so important to remind us to overcome that chronic comparison, overcome that comparanoia that can literally just overtake us and eat away at us and stop us from our own pursuit of joy and fulfillment and passion and purpose. Mel Robbins reminds us that life isn't fair. Life isn't fair. And I don't know why. I don't have the answers to that. You don't either, I'm guessing. I don't know why some people are born in the situations that they are or experience the situations that they do. But what I have learned to understand and accept is that everything happens for me, not necessarily to me. And my role as the non-emotional observer, as much as I can be, is to remind myself and ask myself, what is my lesson in this? What can I learn from this situation right here, right now? Because there's always a lesson. And we work ourselves through that lesson so much faster when we can remind ourselves that life happens for me, situations happen for me, and I'm here to learn a lesson to this. I'm not trying to pretend or be a Pollyanna and pretend that life's lessons aren't painful. They certainly can be, but they are what they are. And so again, our emotional reaction to anything is what's going to help us sail through those waters much more quickly and calmly and navigate through them in a more positive way when we can remind ourselves of that. So the best thing that we can do is ask ourselves, what is this thought, this judgment, this comparison here to teach me? What is this here to teach me? Why am I choosing to compare myself to this situation that I'm seeing in a magazine or in real life or on social media? Why am I choosing to compare myself and measure myself up against this standard? What's my lesson from this? Where have I done this in the past? Where am I doing it currently? And how can I prevent myself from doing this in the future? So those are my thoughts from the let them theory on overcoming chronic comparison, or comparanoia, as I like to call it. I'm Jackie Elmer. Leave me a comment below and let me know if and how you've struggled with comparison or comparanoia, any tools or tips or tricks that you have to overcome it. Grab my guide at lowertoxiclife.com, subscribe to the channel, and check out my playlist on the Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins.